We are going on a trip for spring break to Big Bend National Park, and I thought I'd just show you sort of the preparation and what we do to get ready, and sort of how we organize the camp gear and transition from our Quetico style trips to these backpacking trips. So this will be our fourth trip to Big Bend, and I'll open a map here in a minute and show you what we plan on doing. We are driving, so part of what I enjoy about this is the transition from where we are in the cold weather here in Michigan to the warmer weather in Texas, and just the change in geography and that drive in general, just kind of unwinding as we go. So okay, so I have the map open, and I love maps. I've always loved maps. I'm a geographer at heart, so these are one of my favorite things to look at, are maps. We plan on entering here at the northeast entrance, and we will come down south to Panther Junction, and we're going to spend most of our time in the Chisos Mountains, including the Chisos Basin, and we'll also spend some time car camping in the desert. So really looking forward to it. The weather's typically pretty nice. The nights can be cool, warm days. Nice rugged terrain. If you haven't been to Big Bend, it's a beautiful big national park with high country, and then of course the desert below and the river. Just a lot of varied terrain. Super excited to go. We're at that point now of the trip where the build up, the excitement, the anticipation really is what's peaking right now, and just excited to get down there and get into the backcountry. Here's a little closer view of some of the backpacking areas. So we're going to spend some time here in the Chisos Basin, camp a couple nights, and we're going to backpack up here to Laguna West. We're actually camping at Laguna Meadows one night, and then we're going to make our way up here into the higher country and stay at our favorite site in the park, which is the South Rim 3 site, which overlooks, you can see the Rio Grande Valley, and then we'll kind of hike around and take some views of the valley below, and looking all points south, basically southwest, southeast. Again, beautiful, beautiful area if you haven't been. We'll backpack back out and then drive up and around, and we end up coming back in over here and do some car camping in Pine Canyon 1, which is near Nugent Mountain, and that's just our last night to stargaze and sort of unwind, and that's always a warm camp. I think the highest elevation we'll camp at is maybe 7,000 feet. Not too rugged of a hike. The only problem, Big Bend, of course, is you have to carry your water, so that gets a little bit taxing. We each carry about a gallon of water, so that can be taxing. So all right, so that's where we're going. Let me just show you now. We'll go look at some of the gear that we use and take, and sort of how we organize. And again, this is part of that anticipation, the build up to the trip. All right, so I'm going to go through some of the gear and what I do to prep for the trip. And again, for me, this is almost as exciting as the trip itself. Transition from work to actually being outdoors and enjoying what we're going to be doing with the backpacking. I kind of go through the gear. I think about where we'll be, when we're going to access the gear, how it will be used, the best way to pack it. And I actually enjoy that aspect of any trip, whether it's going to Quetico or doing a backpacking trip like this. So I mentioned we have to bring our own, 2 gallons of water. There's springs up in the mountains, but they're typically dry, or maybe not water you can depend on all the time. So we bring a combination of Nalgene's, and then these bags here are each 6 liters, so there's 4 of those. So we bring 36 to 40 liters of water, and we have to pack that up. You can see here the tents, a couple of 2-man tents and a 1-man tent for my son. So there'll be 5 of us going. We're lucky. This is the last year. Probably we'll all be able to go on this spring break type of trip. Despite my daughters being in college, they love the trip so much they're going to miss a week, and hopefully that works out. But tents and sleeping gear, I've got the propane, the jet oil. I also bring an MSR for more cooking on the pan, I guess. And then I've got my food laid out. I've got to go through all of this, but I always bring some sweet stuff, trail mix, different versions of that. Try and bring some healthy stuff. hot cereal, things like that. I bring a little bit of jerky too. That's always nice to munch on. Chessboard, like to have chess up there and play chess when we can. As well, toilet paper, first aid, shovel. Those are all obviously necessities. And the fun thing is all of this, I'm used to packing it for Quetico. And the packs we use there are more the canoe packs. So these big monsters that you throw everything in. So then it's the transition from those packs to figuring out how everything's going to fit into a more traditional backpack here. So that's always the challenge. And you can see with the gear laid out here, there's a lot to sort of fork into those backpacks. Now, not all of this is going to go. You can see some of this kitchen stuff. Lynn and I have been using this, my wife, since, the late 90s. We developed these and put different things in there. We've been taking the same containers for car camping all these years. But again, sleeping gear, just a general 20-degree bag or so. That seems to do it well. Sleeping pads, nothing special there. New solar charger with a power bank I'm going to try this year for the high country. My brother let me use his last year in Quetico, and just phenomenal results, even when it wasn't perfectly clear. These boxes, my dad made these years ago, and they contain all kinds of camping gear, and then another bigger one that I keep some additional gear in. So all of this I bring down. It comes out of storage in the attic. I know where it all is. I usually keep the sleeping bags in one of my big Duluth packs. So again, I know where everything is. I can bring it down here. I can quickly transition from that Quetico style canoe and backpack camping. This is a part of the trip planning that I really tend to enjoy. It takes my mind away from, work and other sort of routine day-to-day things. So it's already the start of my escape, I guess, my vacation in that sense. And I have been thinking about the trip for a long time, the last month or so, and just, as it nears, the anticipation grows, the excitement grows, and I think about being on the road, hiking up in the mountains, seeing the desert plants and some of the animals, the critters out there. So this is just sort of, I'm at the apex of the anticipation and excitement. And we're actually leaving in a couple days, so I've got a lot of packing and organizing to do. So I try to organize this sort of as group food and then some individual stuff. 2 nights basically camping. The jerky, the tuna will be for lunch, jerky for lunch, some snacks there. I do bring granola a little bit, so I do bring the powdered milk. I find the Carnation is really the best option for the milk like that. And then I bring a combination of the original with maple brown sugar for hot cereal in the morning. That's a nice compliment if I don't always bring granola, or if we want something different on a cold morning. And then look at the granola bars. I like the power bars. And then I like to bring a couple different blends of trail mix. Some of this I make on my own. Other times I don't. Quetico, I tend to make it on my own more, but I like this. This Second Nature's good. Then sort of standard trail mix with the M&Ms and raisins. And some more Sugar Boost. Another backup bag of trail mix that I keep kind of tucked away. That's kind of the go-to mix. Dinner, I will typically do some combination of mountain houses. So I have a jet boil that I bring, and you can see I'm trying a couple different ones this time. I've got the chicken teriyaki from Peak. I don't mind the mountain houses either. We get a couple of those. Lasagna is usually not bad. The rice and chicken the kids like. I'm going to try this new one, see how that is. I've got a couple other ones in here that I keep in my bear barrel here, and we may not eat all of them. I typically bring enough to have 4 at one dinner, and then we'll complement it with other things. So these are usually 2 servings that I get, 2 serving portions, so I try those. Now another option, let me show you this. Another option that I tried last year up in Quetico was this plant-based meat. And it does take up a little bit more fuel, but I combine it with, one of these Mexican street corn or the cilantro rice. And again, it does take a little more fuel, but man, oh man, it really feels like you're eating real food, unlike sometimes with the freeze-dried stuff. The downside, of course, is they take up more fuel when you're cooking them, because I think you have to, I don't know how long you simmer it for, and then the other 7 to 10 minutes. Turn the heat off and then let it kind of soak in any additional water. And I'll bring some version of a wrap like this to have too. So now I've got to figure out how to segment sort of the backpacking food from some of the food we'll eat car camping. That's where I can get lost quick, because on the morning we go backpacking or the night before, I don't want to have to be dealing with chasing this stuff around and figuring out where it is, what bag it's going to go to. I like to get some of the backpacking stuff set right now before we leave, so that when we're out there in the parking lot, I'm not dealing with finding a lot of stuff. Of course, you always do, right? You're always looking for something that you misplaced. So we're getting there, getting closer. And again, each step sort of reminds me of the traditions of past trips to, different national parks as well as Quetico. They kind of blend together. But again, it's this idea of the traditions that we built up traveling to these national parks as a family over the years, really almost 15 years now that we've been doing this. So lots of neat traditions, lots of memories as I go through this process year to year. And that really, again, it's another mechanism to start to remove myself from the routine and the things that I'm, hoping to take a break from, right? This is the start of that. So more anticipation here and just kind of tradition of our trips. You can see my wife has organized little snack bags for us all with their names on them, and they contain a variety of goodies to munch on while we're on the road. So again, it's just the collection of these traditions and routines with travel, if you're fortunate enough. And, most of our traveling involves some style of camping. So national parks, state forests, things like that. So it's not like we're spending a week at a resort or anything and a lot of money. These are things that a lot of people are able to do and enjoy and get outside and build that tradition with your family. So we actually took this first box that my dad made on our month-long trip. We took a month and traveled out west, and we had this box with us along with just our little storage container with a old propane 1-burner stove and some necessities there. So traveled light, and really that makes for a more enjoyable trip, right? Just removing some of the dead weight, the things you think you need. You get out on the road, you get back in the woods, and you realize pretty quickly that most of that stuff you actually don't need at all. So anyway, just another view of some of the traditions and some of the things that we enjoy on our annual trips here. And we're all packed up. We are moving outward and onward. Got the Thule on top. I think we have everything. So we have everything packed in here precisely, along with everything up top. So I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't all fall on Ben. But it's all in here, right? Lynn doesn't like the camera, obviously. All right, we're ready to go. All that packing results in this, and now we're ready for a 10-hour drive, 11-hour drive.